Is he gone? Quinn asked. That mist is a transformation spell, the system explained. Most likely he has turned into something that allows him to pick up more speed. With that knowledge, a weight was lifted from his shoulders, but there was still another problem weighing on his mind, and he was soon reminded of it. Peter started to scream at the top of his lungs. It felt like he was being stabbed repeatedly in his stomach, and as his hunger grew, so did his strength. The tight strings that were once holding him down were starting to snap one by one. Quinn, quickly, give him some of your blood. It will only be temporary, but it should calm him down as you have more control over him, said the system. Quinn used shadow equipment to put his equipment back into his dimensional space, including the suit and the mask he was wearing. Then, using the tip of his tooth, he bit down on his thumb, causing blood to be drawn. He walked closer to Peter, and after just taking a few steps, Peter lifted his head and turned it towards Quinn. A snarling sound was made, as if to give a warning for Quinn not to get any closer. Peter's eyes were now red once again, and his fangs were on full display. Are you sure you won't hurt me? Quinn said. Positive. Vampires have a set of rules that they must follow. Otherwise, their powers will begin to retaliate against them. Remember how you felt just moments ago when you tried to flee, right? No matter how hard you fought against it, it was impossible to fight back. It will be the same for him if he tries to hurt you. Looking at Peter, who continued to snarl at him, he still wasn't quite sure whether to believe the system or not, but he had no choice. Peter was like this because of him, and now there was no going back. The snarling persisted as he went forward, but exactly as the system had said, even though Quinn was practically holding Peter's hand, he never tried to bite him. Quinn then lifted his hand and started to squeeze the blood from it, allowing it to drip into Peter's mouth. Just like that, in almost an instant, Peter started to calm down. How long will this last? Quinn asked. Long enough, the system replied. Placing Peter on his back and equipping his beast boots, he activated his wind walk. He no longer had any time to take it easy, so he ran as fast as he could back to the school without any intention of slowing down. Vorden had safely made it back into the room on time, and Layla had left long before to go back to her dorm room. In the kitchen, lay down on the table, he had gotten what looked like a meat cleaver. Okay, Vorden, you can do this. I can't believe you're going this far, Rayton said. I have to, otherwise Peter will endanger us all. Then just kill the guy. I'll even do it for you like the last time, Rayton replied. But Quinn doesn't want that, and Syl is finally starting to change. We can't have him go back to how he once was, Vorden said. For once, Rayton didn't have a stinging reply. Vorden then placed his arm on the table, laying it flat, while grabbing the meat cleaver with the other. Here goes nothing. He swung it down, but at the last second, he stopped just inches above his limb. I can't do it. How can anyone cut their arm off? A thud sound was heard in the room, and as Vorden looked up, he could see that Quinn had arrived while bearing Peter on his back. The two of them had come through the broken window. Looks like I just made it in time, Quinn said, relieved. The sound on their watches went off again, indicating that it was now 10 o'clock. A ping would then be sent to the security office, revealing the location of all those who were not located in their rooms at that moment. However, as soon as Peter had entered the room, the smell of fresh human flesh had entered his nose, and he once again succumbed to his crazed self. Quinn quickly held him down using all of his strength, but the struggle was tough. It felt like Peter was just as strong as Quinn. The only thing that he could do was put on his gauntlets, but if he did, the second he let go of Peter, he knew he would go after Vorden. Now is not the time to be hesitating, Vorden said, but once again as he looked at the meat cleaver and his hand, his heart started beating like crazy. Ah, you big b***er, let me do it, Rayton said as he took control of the seat. Without hesitation, Rayton swung the meat cleaver down onto his arm. Unlike Vorden, though, he didn't hesitate one bit. Vorden said as he chucked over his arm towards Quinn and Peter. As Vorden's arm was flying through the air, Peter managed to overpower Quinn and push him off. Peter leapt into the air like a dog trying to catch the arm. It would have looked funny if it wasn't so gruesome. It was as if he was playing catch, but instead of a stick, he was catching an arm. His jaws extended much further than a normal human. When he caught the arm in his mouth, he immediately bit down on it and started eating. Vorden looked down at the meat cleaver. It was covered in blood, and so was the kitchen counter where he had cut his arm off. Strangely, there wasn't any blood on the hand holding the cleaver. Vorden, are you okay? Quinn asked, with a worried expression on his face. "Don't worry, I'll be fine," Vorden replied with a little smile. "Guess we needed Plan B more than we thought." When Quinn looked at Vorden, he had expected to see blood gushing from the wound where he had cut off his arm. Instead, he saw that the wound had closed itself and was already starting to heal bit by bit. At the same time, Peter was still gnawing away on Vorden's arm, entirely focused on devouring its skin and bone. Vorden felt a bit strange, seeing Peter eating his arm right in front of him. Instinctively, he grabbed at his arm. He felt the part below his elbow was already starting to grow back. This made him sigh in relief. Luckily, the healing ability he acquired was already starting to work. "I hope this is going to be enough for him, because I don't feel like going through this again today," Vorden said. "It should be. When he finished eating, he will calm down a bit," Quinn replied. He was just repeating the words of the system right now because he wasn't sure of anything anymore. When Peter finally finished eating the arm, Quinn felt strange energy surging through his body. It felt the same as the first time Peter ate human flesh. It was a strange situation for Peter because he was aware of everything that was happening, but he didn't have control over his body because he was fully consumed by his hunger. Looking at Vorden, Peter noticed his arm was missing. With fear in his voice, he stammered, "Vorden, your arm. I don't know." Peter felt appalled with himself. "This thing?" Vorden said as he lifted his stump. "Don't worry about it. In a few hours, it will have grown back. This was our backup plan in case you lost control before we had found a permanent solution for you. I just didn't want you thinking of me like a chicken nugget you can eat whenever you get hungry," Vorden said, trying to lighten the mood. "Before coming back to our room, I went down to the canteen and copied the ability of a student who has regenerative power. We didn't expect you to be hungry so soon after you fed on Earl yesterday." All three of them were silent for a while. They were thinking about the crazy situation that they were in right now. After some time, Peter broke the silence. "Thank you, both of you. You've always been nice to me and treated me right even after I betrayed you. You still saved my life, and even now you went to such lengths to help me." As they looked around the room, they realized how much of a mess they had made. There was a big hole in the window where Peter had smashed through it, and shards of broken glass could be seen underneath it. Blood was all over the place. On the kitchen counter. "I guess we better get started with cleaning this place before anyone finds out what happened here," Quinn said. Each of them took their turn cleaning up the place, but there wasn't much they could do about some areas. They couldn't magically restore a window, and the scratches made on the wooden floor could only be fixed so much. When Vorden was cleaning the kitchen counter, he said, "Hey, Quinn, you fancy a drink?" At the same time, he was squeezing some blood from a towel. Quinn was amazed at how Vorden could still crack a joke in a situation like this, but then again, nothing ever seemed to faze the guy.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.